Gold. He's the chief market strategist at bullseyeoption.com. We're so close to all-time highs, Alan. What are we waiting for here?
Well, we're talking about the S&P, waiting for a push above 4,600, but I talked last week about how we need a little bit of a pause for this market to regroup and then push higher. So let's see if this is maybe the start of some profit taking. I've been using this last week or two as a way to unwind some of these positions. Sell too soon, and I know we had Path on this show. Path was a 240% profit with this better way to trade using these in-the-money options. And your favorite, VSCO, say it, my friend, was 184% gain with those options. So I trade what I see, and I saw some great setups.
All right, nice, good trade. And this market, your strategy of finding the beaten down stuff to catch up has worked pretty well because we've expanded from the winners into literally anything else. So the gold trade then, how come you're going there? Because that one's already like breaking out. You think it's got more to go?
Well, we've done gold before. Now, we did gold back in March. We did GDX, which is the gold miners. Now, the gold miners have tracked totally differently than the metal itself. But obviously, it's a function because the gold miners have the gold in the ground, so they should gain when gold prices rally, but they really haven't. Gold itself, GLD, is up 15%, but GDX is only up 4% in the last year. So there's some opportunity there. And like I said, we did this last March where we saw this bottom base formation and it rallied from 25 up to 35, and the option gained triple digits as well.
Okay. So GDX still pretty far behind. You know, the way I learned it was that these are the higher beta trades. So what's with the big gap to the actual commodity?
That's not my job to figure out. What I like is the risk reward. This is an ETF that's been trading between 25 and 35 for the past year. So 30 is an important pivot point, and we're above that 30 point. And so when we get above the midpoint of the range, then that usually sends us for a pop to the range top at 35. So a modest move will produce big gains. So also, if we break out of this 25 to 35 range, that target's 45. So there's a lot of upside here. It is about 30% off its 2020 highs. So there is more potential here. We also see my bullish divergence. It may do lows in October, but not new highs in implied volatility. That's a sign of a sentiment shift. And we're seeing a lot of leverage buying as well. So the money flow is going into this ETF. And again, it's got a lot of positive risk reward. And if we simply get up to 35, then this option will gain 100%. I'm looking at the March 30 call. Again, 30 is that midpoint pivot. It was trading at about 3 last night. It was $2 in the money. We had some a little bit of craziness last night. Let's see how it all sorts out. But I'm still in position. Got 3 months of time, and we'll see how this performs.
Okay, so looking for the miners to catch up to the commodity seems pretty reasonable as long as
they have the gold. They have the gold. It's in the ground. I mean, it's not like they don't have the gold. So if the gold prices go up, why wouldn't the miners' value go up? They have it.
Almost sounds like an Arby's commercial there. We have the gold. Hey, how come? So what? You're old school, Alan. You don't want to buy any Bitcoin miners? They've got the coins.
You know, my friend, I'm too old for that kind of games. I mean, I'll trade some of those stocks and options on those stocks, but yeah, I've been talking about how everybody had forgotten about Bitcoin, and that's usually the time that you see a market move. And that's how psychology works. And now we're seeing the same thing in Bitcoin. And, you know, let's talk about the S&P over the last year. Not a whole lot of big believers, but I think both of these will benefit from the dollar decline and the fact that, you know, it looks like rate cuts are coming faster than we thought. And if they're not raising rates, then how is the dollar going to strengthen? That's what if I start to think, that's how I think, but I also see it in the charts.
Okay, so long gold with the GDX with the in the money $30 strike call, and any quick thought on why the gold move faded overnight? Have you put any thought into that? kind of a weird
I don't know.
move.
I'm gonna have to do a little research. I was pretty excited
dollar,
last night.
to your
When
point.
I'm watching some football, seeing the markets open, it's up $50. I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And so there's probably a story behind it. But what we need to do is see how long it takes us to test that high that was made last night and see what that means. But if you look at it, we saw gold rally from, drop from 2140 down to 1840, so $300. V recovery targets 2440 in gold. So I'm a still believer. One day doesn't make the news, but we'll have to sort it out.
All right. Thank you, Alan Nuttman. Fun convo.
Thank you.
And nice trades being on the upside of the big swing and broadening out of the rally. Mr. Nuttman, bullseyeoption.com with the calls and GDX. Let's talk some chips next. We're going to get into the semiconductor group with 3 names